When is someone given an IQ test? Under what circumstances? I got one when I had to do a full psych panel for a job. It was just one part of an all-day thing with like 10 tests and a few hours of interviews. What setting did you get tested in? In schools, it's often given as part of a special ed process to see if someone has a learning disability or other diagnosis. It can also be given as part of a neuropsychological, aka neuropsych, assessment, which is a comprehensive evaluation that looks at your social, emotional, cognitive functioning and could be ordered for various reasons. It would be given in an outpatient setting like a hospital or psychologist's office. IQ tested are used by psychiatrists to judge childhood development. I got one when being diagnosed with ADHD as a kid. That's a common use today, and was the original use when the test was first being developed. I had a thorough one administered to me before and after surgery. I had a brain tumor removed. Benign. 2 decades ago. And the purpose was to see if the surgery affected my cognitive ability. They didn't give explicit reasoning, but I think it was just as much so the doctors could guide my own treatment, as so they could judge their own surgical techniques. If many patients had a drop in test performance after surgery, then they would know that they were doing something wrong or should be using an alternative treatment. Something like that has always been the most legit reason. Emo. To give that type of cognitive test. I know that IQ testing used to be common in schools to place students, and has been used in workplaces as a tool to make hiring decisions. But there's so many factors that tests don't take it into account, and they have been heavily criticized for that reason, and in some cases banned for those uses. There are multiple reasons. People are tested to rule out a learning disability or see if they fall in the talented and gifted. That is for educational purposes. They may also be tested as part of a larger series of tests. Someone who is outside the norm may have difficulties adjusting in life, and if that is the cause, low or high IQ, treatment is determined based on the reason for having difficulty adjusting. Having a high IQ can be very isolating and give one feelings like they don't belong and that others do not understand them. I earned a certificate for teaching GATE students and went to a few conferences. It was very eye-opening. I took one for sociology class, for no real reason. My twin brother and I were given multiple IQ and aptitude tests for research by the Australian NHMRC. I think I was given one in 4th grade. I was a slow reader in the special reading class. I barely knew the alphabet, but I was also very far ahead in math. Doing middle school algebra in 4th grade. I was taken to the school library and interviewed by a person who was likely a psychologist, and then given a test with a lot of logic puzzles. About 2 weeks later, they called me and my parents into the principal's office and basically apologized to my parents for not knowing. After that, I was put in the advanced group classes. I went to the 5th grade with the cool teacher that gave a lot of one-on-one time and was basically told to teach myself math because they weren't really prepared to send me to the high school for math at my level. He really pushed me on reading and writing. I also got Mensa applications in the mail that I thought were stupid. No idea what my score was. Years later, I'm a principal PhD scientist at a biotech company. I was given one in 2nd grade in the late 70s. My score qualified me for the gifted program, but I don't know if everyone in school was tested at that stage. I got one recently as a 36-year-old adult when I got tested for ADHD. Not sure why they did an intelligence test, but I was happy with the results. They are generally given to rule out learning disabilities that could explain alternate diagnoses. They are sometimes given to meet requirements for advanced programs. Psychologist here. IQ tests have a lot of value. The overall number is not typically as important as the breakdown of someone's cognitive skills and their personal strengths, weaknesses. The overall number is helpful when you are looking for a global idea of someone's skills compared to other people their age. If someone has strengths and weaknesses in their skills, then the overall number may not be a good summary. IQ tests usually look at a number of skills: how we use language, how we solve problems without language, how fast we take in information, our working memory, etc. In a school setting, getting this profile can help with the diagnosis of an intellectual disability, learning disability, etc. In mental health setting, it depends. They are used to assist with diagnoses, as well as helping the person's treatment team understand their skills and accommodate if needed. For example, if it takes me a long time to take in information, make sense of it and respond to it, my doctor needs to talk slowly and give me smaller chunks of information. They are also used in some types of court-ordered assessments, testing after stroke, after traumatic brain injury, monitoring MS, assessing age-related changes in cognition, some types of personnel selection, career counseling, research, etc. Had one as part of gifted education evaluation in grade school. In my country, IQ tests are given for education from kindergarten onwards, military and some professions. I was part of the IEP program, though for a diagnosis that doesn't really have any effect on intelligence or IQ, and had to take a few IQ tests throughout my school years as part of it. Though looking it up, that isn't a federal thing, and more something that differs from school to school. Besides the one time where I was sick during it, I actually did pretty well in them, since what I have doesn't really affect that. But there is one reason for you, as a way to gauge students with disabilities or something like that. I had an IQ test in middle school to enroll in the advanced program. I was given one when they were trying to determine whether I should skip a year in school. I was in teen psychiatric hospital when I had mine administered. I remember it taking like 6 hours. Haven't seen anyone mention it, but militaries tend to do it to potential recruits. They don't refer to them as IQ tests, and have their own scoring systems. But those tests both walk and quack like an IQ test. I had to do one when I was really young. I have no idea why, TBH. Every day after school for a couple weeks, this testing lady would come to my house and have me answer questions, do puzzles, etc. Apparently I was a genius, so they put me in the gifted and talented program. Today as an adult, I'm just a normal person with ADHD and crippling depression.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.